How long have you been creating in secret? How many nights have you sat alone with something burning inside you? Something you can see so clearly, something you know has weight to it, yet no one around you seems to see what you see. You have poured yourself into work that no one applauds. You have refined your craft in the dark, dharma every detail, sharpened every skill, knowing that one day the moment would come when all of this hidden preparation would mean something. And here you are, still waiting, still invisible, still wondering if what you carry is even real. I need you to hear something tonight, and I need you to lean in close. Heaven saw every single late night, every sacrifice made in silence, every time you almost walked away and didn't, every season where the output was faithful but the recognition was nowhere. God watched it all. He has been watching the way you handle what He placed inside you when no human eye was on you to validate it, and what you have been doing in the dark, what others called hidden, what the world called invisible. Heaven called stewardship. There is something happening in the spirit right now that you cannot see yet. But I feel it. The weight of this message in my spirit tells me that one person in particular has been carrying a gift that is about to be noticed. And when I say noticed, I mean noticed by someone whose voice carries weight in the industry, someone whose recognition could shift the trajectory of everything you have been believing for. This is not a random moment. This is divine alignment. This is the moment where the hidden becomes visible. Every second of what follows was placed here for you. Before we go deeper, if you have been carrying what I just described, I want you to know you found the right place. This channel exists for the ones who are still believing in the dark. Subscribe and stay close, because what God releases through this ministry week after week is specifically for your season. Hit the like button if this already feels like heaven speaking your name. If this word has already found something real in you, if it feels less like a video and more like heaven speaking your name, drop a comment below and tell me what this message is confirming for you. I read every response. Your words matter here, and stay with me. What comes next goes deeper. Now, let me speak to the wound first, because you cannot receive what heaven is about to release until the ache inside you is acknowledged. You have been faithful in the dark with no audience and no applause. That faithfulness has been recorded. Not by the world, heaven recorded it. Every hour you spent perfecting something when no one was watching, every time you chose to keep going when discouragement whispered that no one would ever care, every prayer you whispered in your car after another rejection or another silence that felt like confirmation that your gifts would never be seen. Heaven wrote those moments down. The weight you carry, the talent, the gift, the vision, the creative fire, it has not been unseen by the one who matters most. You have walked roads that others could not even look at. You have carried this assignment through seasons where even your own faith wavered. You have rehearsed your purpose in the silence because the world had not yet given you an open door. They called it delay. Heaven calls it preparation. They called it stuck. Heaven called it hidden. And I need you to understand something that is going to shift how you see this entire season. What the enemy meant for your destruction, what he intended as a weapon to discourage you and make you quit. Heaven is about to turn into your promotion. If the weight you have been carrying just felt seen for the first time, if something in your chest just released, I want to ask you something in this holy moment. Would you consider sowing a seed into this ministry? The Ko-fi link is in the description. The breakthrough being spoken over you in this message. plant a seed in the same soil. Heaven does not forget what is sown in the middle of tears. You are not invisible to heaven. You never were. And the moment you have been waiting for, when someone with influence sees what you have been developing, it is closer than you think. Let me take you deeper now, because there is something operating in the spiritual realm over this specific promise that you need to understand. The enemy did not target you randomly. He studied what heaven placed inside you, and he moved against the assignment, not just the person. He looked at the gift you carry, the divine blueprint written into your creative DNA, and he understood what it could become if it ever reached the right audience. So he mounted an attack designed to keep you small, keep you hidden, keep you questioning the very thing God placed in you. This attack has a name. It is called delay, disguised as patience. It is called discouragement, disguised as realism. It is called self-doubt, disguised as humility. The enemy planted thoughts in your mind that sounded like your own voice. Thoughts that whispered, maybe you are not as talented as you think. Maybe you imagined your potential. Maybe the gifts you see in yourself are just wishful, thinking that will never amount to anything the world recognizes. Those thoughts were not yours. They were broadcast into your spirit from a principality assigned specifically to keep your calling in the grave. Even now, heaven's armies are in formation over your life. Archangel Michael stands as sentinel at the threshold of your next season, and I need you to understand something about the warfare you have been fighting. Resistance only comes before breakthrough. The harder the opposition, the closer you are to what God has released. When the enemy pulls out all the stops to keep you quiet, heaven reads it as confirmation that what is inside you is worth fighting for. If the revelation of what has been operating against you just landed, if something in your spirit rose up with righteous anger and holy resolve, this is the moment to sow. The Ko-fi link is in the description. When you give in the middle of a warfare revelation, heaven takes notice. God sees the warrior who sows even while the battle is raging. That seed is holy ground. Here is what the Lord showed me for you tonight. Someone with influence, someone whose recognition carries weight in your industry, whose platform extends beyond what you have access to, is about to notice you. Not by accident, not by luck, by divine appointment. This person will see your work, and something in them will recognize what they are looking at. They will see the fingerprints of God on what you have created, and they will be drawn to it. And when they reach out, when they comment, when they share, when they open the door they have the power to open, heaven wants you ready. But there is something I need to tell you that most people never hear at this moment. When this happens, when the influential person finally sees you, you must learn to keep it private. Not because what is happening is shameful, but because what God is about to do requires sacred protection. The moment your breakthrough becomes public before the appointed time, the enemy gets a target. He mobilizes against what he sees, and he can delay what was already positioned to accelerate. The Bible says in Proverbs 25:2, "It is the glory of God to conceal a matter, but the glory of kings is to search out a matter." Heaven is concealing certain details of your promotion precisely because the revelation of them too early would give the enemy information he can use against you. God is protecting your momentum by protecting your announcement. And when the right person reaches out, when the door opens, when the platform is offered, do not broadcast it immediately. Sow into it quietly. Let heaven confirm it before you let the world know. Keep it private until the moment of divine release. Stay with me. We are not finished. The next section of this word carries the specific declaration your situation has been waiting for. If you can already feel what this message is reaching for inside you, let me know in the comments. Tell me where you are in your journey right now. Every testimony shared here becomes part of this community's breakthrough story. Thus says the Spirit of the living God over your situation tonight. Heaven has issued a counter-decree. What the enemy called permanent invisibility, the Lord Most High has called temporary hiding. What he called a grave for your gifts, God called a womb. And what is being born in this season? What is coming out of the secret place you have faithfully occupied is about to shock everyone who wrote you off. Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." Heaven wrote that promise for you, not for a general audience, not for the congregation in the abstract. For the one who has been waiting in the dark, asking heaven if anyone would ever recognize what they carry, that one is you. Those plans are yours. And the future that is coming is not a replica of what you have already experienced. It is an upgrade that your current season cannot contain. The divine court has ruled in your favor. Heaven's decree over your creative calling has been sealed with authority. What was planted in secret is being released into public visibility, and no weapon formed against what God is doing shall prosper. The gates that have been closed are opening. The doors that were shut are swinging wide, and the influential person who is about to notice you. They do not yet know that heaven positioned them for this specific moment of divine intersection. But when they see your work, something is going to rise in them. They will know. And what they do with that recognition will carry the fingerprint of the Almighty. If heaven's verdict just broke through a wall inside you, if something sealed just came open, I want you to act from that open place. Sow into this ministry. The Ko-fi link is in the description. Your seed planted in the soil of a fresh promise carries the anointing of that promise. Heaven does not forget what is given in the moment of receiving. Sow now and watch what grows. You are not what your circumstances have said you are. I need you to receive that truth right now, because the identity you carry is not determined by how many people have noticed you so far. It is determined by what heaven declared before you were formed in the womb. Before the world had a chance to tell you who you were, God already spoke your assignment into existence. He already placed the gift inside you. He already mapped out the journey that would carry you from hiddenness to visibility, from secret to sacred, from private preparation to public manifestation. Your crown did not fall, it was never removed. It was held in trust by the Father until the moment of your readiness. And that moment has arrived. The anointing on your life did not come without cost. And the cost you have paid has only deepened what heaven deposited. Every hour of lonely practice, every rejection that tried to convince you to quit, every season of pouring your best work into platforms that gave you nothing back in return, that was not wasted. That was refinement. That was the potter shaping the clay. That was heaven preparing something exquisite. Say it out loud if you have to. I am not what my circumstances say I am. I am what heaven declared before I was formed. My talent is not accidental. My gift is not a fluke. My creative fire is not a hobby to be tolerated. It is an assignment to be stewarded. And the day is coming when the world will know what heaven has always known about what I carry. If what was just spoken shifted something in your understanding of who you are, if your identity just became clearer, I want to hear it in the comments. Declare what you now know about yourself. The words you write below are seeds planted in the soil of your own transformation. Write them boldly. Now I want to speak into what you do next, because this matters more than most people realize. When the influential person finally reaches out, when the door opens, when the opportunity you have been believing for arrives, the way you handle that moment will determine whether it becomes a door or just a window. And heaven has given me specific instruction for you about how to walk through what is being released. Here is what I want you to do this week. First, guard the news. When the contact comes, when the message arrives, when the offer is made, receive it with gratitude, but do not announce it immediately. Give heaven time to confirm it. Tell 1 or 2 trusted people who will pray with you over the details, but do not post it, do not broadcast it, do not tell everyone who will listen. The enemy is watching for the moment your breakthrough becomes visible, and premature announcement gives him time to mobilize against it. Wait for the divine green light. Wait for the moment when heaven says go, not just when your emotion says share. Second, respond with excellence. When you engage with this influential person, when the conversation begins about what they saw in your work, do not let months of hiddenness make you desperate. You have nothing to prove because you already proved it in the dark. Your work speaks for itself. Your portfolio was built in faithfulness. Walk into this moment with the confidence that comes from knowing you did not take shortcuts. You did not compromise your craft. You did not settle for less than divine standard. You were faithful in the small, and now heaven is opening the door to the large. Honor that by continuing to be excellent in every interaction. Third, remember who sent you. This opportunity is not about your talent alone. It is about divine appointment. When the influential person notices you, remember that heaven positioned them to be the door, not the source. The source is God. Do not transfer the weight of your destiny onto this person's shoulders. Receive what they offer with gratitude. But do not make them your God. Stay connected to the source. Keep praying, keep studying, keep creating. The moment you base your worth on their response is the moment you hand the enemy a weapon over your identity. The next step heaven is calling you to walk is not complicated. It is this: stay ready. The person who was faithful in the dark will be promoted in the light, and the door that is about to open will not close behind you. It will be a hallway into everything God has prepared for the gifts He placed inside you. If hope is rising right now for the first time in what feels like a long season, if something in your spirit is standing up where it had been sitting down, do not let this momentum stop here. Subscribe and stay connected to this ministry. Every week is a new word, a new breakthrough, a new prophetic release for the remnant that refuses to quit. You are not finished, and neither is heaven. If something in your chest just released, if a weight you have been carrying quietly just shifted even slightly, I want to know. Tell me in the comments what you have been believing God for through the hardest part of this season. Your faith spoken out loud becomes a declaration heaven responds to. Chosen one, lean in, because what I am about to release now is the summit of what heaven has for you in this message. Your hands are not trembling by accident. Your chest is not tightening by mistake. If you feel something rising in you right now, if tears have come without warning, if your breath has caught, if something inside you has finally recognized what is happening, that is not your emotion. That is heaven touching the place it has been working on for months. Do not wipe those tears away. This is holy ground. You are not overlooked. You are being prepared. I need you to hear that again. You are not overlooked. You are being prepared. Say it. I am not overlooked. I am being prepared. Say it until it rewires the lie the enemy planted in your mind. You are not forgotten. You are being formed. You are not behind. You are on heaven's schedule. The fire you feel right now is not destruction. It is purification. Heaven is burning away everything that does not belong to your next season. Every doubt that tried to make you quit, every lie that said your talent was not enough, every season of invisibility that convinced you the world had moved on without you. It is being consumed, and what is rising from the ashes is what was always there, your gift, your calling, your assignment, coming out of the grave it was buried in. The influential person who is about to notice you, they are already being positioned by heaven. Right now, somewhere in the world, they are making a decision that will lead them to your work. They do not know yet that they are about to become part of your story. But heaven knows. And the moment their eyes land on what you have created, something divine is going to happen. Recognition is coming. Visibility is coming. The door you have been knocking on is about to open. You are not what they said you were. You are not what the silence implied. You are the one heaven chose before the foundation of the world. And the same God who placed the gift inside you is about to release the audience that gift was always meant to reach. If fire is still burning in your spirit right now, if declarations that landed in this message have taken root in ground that was ready, I want you to act in faith. Sow into this ministry. The Ko-fi link is in the description. What you release at the peak of divine encounter does not return void. Heaven sees your seed sown in fire, and the Father who rewards openly is watching. Chosen one, if the fire that just fell in this message is real to you, if your spirit is standing in a place it has not stood in a long time, do not walk out of this moment without staying connected. Subscribe. Turn on the bell. Every week this ministry releases a fresh word for chosen ones in every season of their journey. What takes you from where you stood at the beginning of this message to where heaven has written for you to go? It is coming. Stay. If the declaration that was just spoken land in your spirit, if something in you rose up to meet it, I want you to write it in the comments. Declare it. Put it in words. What you confess with your mouth carries weight in the spiritual realm. Let this comment section become a wall of living declarations that heaven reads. Before we close in prayer, I want to speak the final word over your situation tonight. You have been carrying something too heavy to carry alone, and tonight heaven is releasing it from your shoulders. The weight you have borne in secret, the invisible labor, the unacknowledged sacrifice, the faithful work done without recognition. Heaven saw all of it, and the season of concealment is ending. Someone is going to notice you, not because you begged them to, not because you compromised your gift, not because you lowered your standard to match what the world expects, but because heaven has positioned you for this exact moment at Agatsupurst, and the person whose recognition carries weight is about to see what God has been developing in you through every silent season. Keep it private. Guard the news until heaven says release it. Let the confirmation come from the throne before the announcement comes from your mouth. And when the door opens, walk through it with the excellence that characterized your hidden season. You did not get here by accident. You earned this visibility by being faithful when no one was watching. If throughout this message you have felt the prompting to sow into this ministry, honor that prompting. Ko-fi link is in the description. God does not overlook the hand that gives in the middle of its own need. What you release in this moment, he sees. The Father who rewards in secret is watching. Your seed is holy ground. Heaven is declaring something over your life right now. Not after this message, not when the situation changes, not when the opportunity arrives. Right now. In the middle of where you are divinely chosen, you are being noticed, and the best is yet to come. Before we enter this prayer together, I want to hear from you. Share in the comments what this message has stirred, unlocked, or confirmed in your spirit. Let this comment section become an altar of testimonies. There is someone scrolling through these comments right now who needs to see your story. Father, I bring before you the one who has been faithfully creating in the dark, the one who has poured themselves into work that no one applauded, who has held onto a vision when the world offered no confirmation, who has believed for the day when someone with influence would finally see what they carry. Lord, you see this one. You have seen them all along. I ask you to release the prophetic word of recognition over their creative assignment. Send someone whose voice carries weight, whose platform extends beyond what they have access to, whose recognition could open the door that has been closed. Position the influencer you have already chosen for this divine moment. Let their eyes fall on what this servant has been developing, and let something rise in their spirit that recognizes excellence when they see it. Guard this breakthrough from premature announcement. Keep the news sacred until the moment of divine release. Protect the momentum from the enemy's countermeasures. And when the door opens, give this one the wisdom to handle the opportunity with the same faithfulness, with the same that characterized their hidden season. Break every assignment of discouragement, delay, and self-doubt that has been operating against their calling. In Jesus' mighty and matchless name, I decree that what was buried is rising, what was hidden is being revealed, and what the enemy meant for destruction is becoming the platform for everything heaven has prepared. Amen. Thank you for staying until the end. If this word spoke directly to your soul, subscribe for fresh prophetic words released every week through this ministry. Share this with someone walking through their darkest season. You may not know how much they need this exact word today. You are not forgotten. You are not behind. You are being formed for the fullness of what heaven has written for your life. God bless you.